Hey, what's up, YouTube? It's Mr. Bomber,
2.1.
And the Utter Chaos.
and today we're going to be talking about our favorite childhood cartoons.
I grew up honestly on Nickelodeon when I was a kid, so
Yeah.
several of these cartoons were
Yeah.
going to be from Nickelodeon. But first off, I just gotta say, SpongeBob was amazing when I was a kid.
Yeah, I fucking love SpongeBob.
The first 3 seasons were really good.
Yeah.
Really, really good.
Season 4 was good too, but once you start branching off into 5 and 6, like 5 and 6 had a few good videos here and there. Like, I think it was season 5 that had the episode with the Tattletale Strangler. Like, that was a good one.
Yeah,
But once
yeah.
you start getting past those seasons, I just can't watch it. It's just so. It's almost like they make it for little kids now. Like the first few seasons had a lot of adult humor in them as well, but now it's just.
Well, the problem with Nickelodeon in general is I feel like they don't even try to market towards boys or anyone else other than teen girls. They're doing like the
Yeah,
Disney sitcom
they're like
thing.
branching off into Disney style type.
And I mean, there's a reason why their viewership went down 30%. You know,
For real.
that's
Yeah, and wasn't the contract expired with Netflix, the Viacom contract?
Yeah,
and
yeah.
Amazon flipped shit and tried to buy it.
yeah.
Well, for me, I grew up on Cartoon Network. I mean,
Yeah.
of course, I watched a lot of Nickelodeon. When they actually had like the Nicktoons thing going on, you know, like with Fairly Odd Parents and all that. But I actually grew up on Cartoon Network. Like that's the channel I would turn it on as soon as I turned the TV on.
Yeah.
So I grew up on stuff like Billy and Mandy and Courage the Cowardly Dog and
Yeah.
Yeah, stuff like that.
Yeah.
I really love Billy and Mandy. That was one
I
of my
love Billy and
favorites.
Mandy.
It was so dark, yet it was really, really funny.
Same with Courage. Like there's so much morbid stuff in that show.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I really like how they actually made it so that they didn't dumb down to kids like Nickelodeon
Yeah,
does
like
now.
Nickelodeon at first when you had like the Ren and Stimpy, Invaders and
Well, yeah, I remember that too, but I didn't watch as much of that. But I really did like Ren and Stimpy and Rocko's Modern Life.
Yeah.
I love that show too.
Um,
But I remember when I was a little kid, like Cat Dog and shows like that, they were just now stopping when I was
Yeah.
starting to watch a lot of TV. Those shows were just kind of starting to go off the air.
Yeah.
I gotta remember when I was a kid, I didn't see Cat Dog as much when I started turning like 6 and 7 and stuff because it was already going.
besides
off
the
air.
obvious SpongeBob and Fairly Odd Parents, the only other one I really watched from Nickelodeon was Hey Arnold.
Oh, I forgot about Hey Arnold.
Yeah.
That and Angry Beavers.
Yeah.
Angry
Yeah.
Beavers.
Yeah.
I didn't watch Angry Beavers as much. It was funny, but I didn't watch it near as much.
I remember when I was going to school in the 3rd grade, and Avatar was on. It was it was the
Avatar.
hypest shit ever.
I love Avatar.
To this day, I still
I don't
watch
think
it.
there's been a saga quite that epic.
Well,
in
I mean,
cartoons.
obviously everyone knows the movie The Last Airbender was horrible, but I mean, I remember when I first got Netflix and saw that was on there. It's not on there anymore, but it was when I first got Netflix. I watched like the whole show within a week.
Right?
Like, I
One of
just
the things
finished
the
on it.
movie honestly missed was it wasn't just a big epic fantasy. It also had quite a bit of humor in there,
Yeah.
Yeah.
which made it more like a fun show.
Yeah. It's one of the only anime-ish type shows that I've ever kind of gotten into besides that and Teen Titans.
I count it.
Because,
I count it.
yeah.
I'd more count Legend of Korra as it's totally like you can definitely see they're trying to do like a Korean,
Yeah, you can see they're doing that.
Japanese type thing.
Ironically enough, though, even though Legend of Korra technically, by all standards, is more of an anime, I can't get into Legend of Korra as easily.
Legend of Korra has brilliant animation, but is bad in just about every other regard.
If you watch the episodes where it talks about what happened to the original cast, I like those episodes because I actually watched
I
those
also
on
like the
YouTube.
stuff that deals with the Equalists. I
Yeah.
think they got a really interesting story.
Well, I never got into it enough to watch that. I kind of just because I mean, like I said, I love the original show. So when I found out that there was an episode that about the original cast, I looked it up and I thought it was pretty awesome.
I really like just the thing about the Equalists is I think they're much better villains than the Fire Nation
Yeah.
because they really have a solid point. They're not just evil for
Right.
the sake of being evil.
Yeah.
Right.
They're more just trying to,
Right.
I don't know, they're almost like the mutant haters from X-Men if they had like more of a point,
Yeah.
Right.
if they were more diplomatic about it.
I mean, don't get me wrong. I love shows that have like kind of a storyline to them, but I like the cartoons more that every episode is kind of has nothing to do with the other episodes. You know, like
Yeah.
SpongeBob or Marvelous Misadventures of Flapjack. I love that show, by the way.
Yeah.
Flapjack was one of my favorite.
And Chowder.
Race.
Chowder, I like Flapjack way more than Chowder, but I still did like Chowder. Like, I have to give it props.
Yeah.
'cause I did
Chowder
watch
had a few episodes that I really liked, but there were some that I just kind of meh
like the
about.
first season was good. Like the one with, what was the one where he ate that sour stuff and had to go in his mouth? I remember that episode from when I was a kid.
Where like the sour was like taking over his taste buds, and it's
and
like
he,
that
like,
was
yeah, I like that one, but
any episode that had to do with the wisdom tooth, I thought was hilarious.
yeah. But after that, it kind of started to trail off, and I think that's why it got canceled.
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
I thought it was sad when Flapjack ended because I didn't really like the final episode that much.
Well, I mean, Flapjack didn't really get canceled. I mean, it did obviously, but it was more because Van Ortman was just done with the show. You know,
Yeah.
he just wanted to put it on the shelf. But how long was that around? Like a year or two?
I think
3?
so.
It was,
Yeah.
at least 2. 'Cause I remember 2008, 2009.
Yeah, you would think they would still play reruns, but they don't.
The thing was, and this especially is true for Cartoon Network, like especially, and it's sort of happening to Nickelodeon now, where everyone knows that big, what I like to call it the Cartoon Network crash, where around like 2008 or 9 they started using a bunch of like real
The
shows.
CN Reel
like
sucked.
like that one. What was that game show they had?
Destroy.
Yeah, that was stupid. And dude, what would happen?
I hated that
I hated that show.
It
And then
was-
there
that
was
one
that.
of the most obnoxious.
There was
ones.
that game show, Hole in the Wall.
Yeah,
Is
yeah,
that
yeah.
what- that was fucking stupid.
Yeah.
I mean, it's one of those things where it's like you got popular for a reason, you know. Like
Yeah.
I
Wasn't that a remake of the Japanese?
it
game
was
show?
honestly,
Yeah.
you can tell.
And if
Yeah.
the Japanese could do anything, their game shows are fucking hilarious.
Yeah.
I'm so glad that they've moved on, and now they have quite a few decent shows. Like I love Adventure Time, I love Regular Show, and I don't know if you guys have seen that new show Clarence.
Oh, yeah, I really like Clarence. Yeah.
That
I
that
haven't
show's
seen
good.
it
It's
yet.
pretty funny.
It really sort of
It-
like taps into like those things you did as a kid, like small
Exactly,
things,
exactly. That's
like,
what I was gonna
like,
say.
like running through like clothes things in
Yeah,
department stores.
yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
And
It really taps into that kind of just those small things that you remember. It kind of brings on a feeling of nostalgia.
and it's
Yeah.
really good, honestly. Like I mean, I know the commercials sort of made it look obnoxious, but like
No,
really,
it,
honestly,
it really is good. Even my dad liked it.
yeah,
And that's
honestly,
that's saying something.
Yeah.
it's pretty good. Give it a watch, honestly.
Yeah. I haven't watched a whole lot of Cartoon Network lately. Nickelodeon just makes me sick watching it because I think of.
I honestly like if they do, like, if Nickelodeon ever does like fall off the face of the earth, it's gonna be a sad day. But I'm not gonna be that sad, honestly, because like it'll be a very bad decline. Like it's
I feel
mean,
like SpongeBob's
don't
on the
get-
verge of collapse. to be
Yeah,
honest.
SpongeBob is
Yeah.
on the rich clutch. I mean, don't get me wrong. I would much rather them have more cartoons, but they have had a few good live action shows like Drake and Josh. I love Drake and
yeah,
Josh.
yeah.
And I honestly, I don't care. I did watch iCarly and I liked it.
When it first came on, I watched it, but that was more out of just obligation because I watched.
'Cause it was about the
everything.
I mean, I know it sounds girly, but I mean, I still liked it. Like, there were characters that I could, like Spencer. I love Spencer from that show.
After a while, this show to me just got kind of obnoxious.
Honestly, yeah. I mean, it's one of those things where like it started off
But,
kind
I
of
mean,
interesting, you know.
It
but-
was. I mean, I thought it was mediocre, but even then, it's God compared to the new shows.
Oh my god.
Breadwinners. Oh my god.
I actually liked that one. What was it with the kid and the snake?
Oh, Sanjay and Craig.
yeah, Sanjay and Craig. I watched a few episodes of that, and that was good.
I mean, it kind of reminded me of Fanboy and Chum Chum. So
I didn't like that much. But
No,
Sanjay
I
don't
and
thi-
Craig,
I don't
I
think
like it.
anyone liked
I like
it.
Sanjay. and Craig.
I can't see a single person who liked Fanboy and Chum Chum.
I
to be
did not
perfectly
like
honest.
Fanboy.
They're
Chum
not.
Chum.
They're still airing it, but not new episodes. They're doing reruns.
So
For
they
what
turned
reason?
down Adventure Time.
Yeah,
that
yeah.
was back in like 2006.
I bet they're like kicking themselves in the ass.
Oh
for
yeah,
doing that
because
now.
Adventure Time is huge right now.
Yeah,
even
seriously.
amongst adults, which
Yeah,
is kind of
I
strange.
mean,
for a
I
cartoon,
love
but-
Adventure Time. Some of their newer episodes are like really weird though. I wish
Yeah.
they would, because like Adventure Time started out as one of those shows I was talking about that just has a different theme every single
Yeah.
episode. Doesn't go back, and then over time they started getting into episodes. Around the end of season 2, they started getting into episodes that were forming storylines, and I don't know. Some of the new episodes are like really weird.
Like, can you like name one like off the top of your
You
head?
talked about that one with the Lich and Finn's dad and stuff.
Oh yeah, like that episode was a good episode, but you have to watch it a few times to realize how good it is because the first time you're watching it, you're expecting like all right, when I was watching it, the whole time I was like, all right, this guy is not Finn's dad. And then it comes to a part where the Lich is like, he's about to like take over Finn's mind or something. He gives this epic speech where he's like, we'll sail to 1,000 worlds and extinguish every light. And he's like, I've come for you, Finn. And he's about to say something like, I need you and my army or something. And then Finn puts this like white stuff that creates life.
Yeah.
It says, because they're in this place called the Crystal Citadel, and these guardian things have this special white blood that keeps the people like young and alive while they're imprisoned in the crystal.
Yeah.
And he like puts it on the Lich, and the Lich starts to like grow flesh and stuff. And when I was watching that, I was like, this is awesome, because you're thinking that's Finn's dad. Like he's gonna get flesh.
Yeah.
And that's gonna be Finn's dad. But it ends completely different how you would think, and I hated the ending, but the episode up until the ending was pretty good.
Yeah.
But
Well, I feel like they might have been trying to avoid comparisons to Star Wars when they had the whole.
If there's,
oh yeah,
I gotta sort of say this. I again, keep in mind, I haven't seen a lot of Adventure Time. I'm sort of trying to get into it right now. It's because it's on Netflix, you know.
yeah.
So I've been
the
watching.
first two
I'm about halfway through season 1 right now. However, there's one thing that's I'm really apprehensive about, and that's the part where it's like I can sort of believe like the whole fantasy sort of thing, you know. But
yeah.
when they revealed that the entire world of Goo was created because of a nuclear war, that sorry, it kind of threw me off because I was like, I don't know, you know. I still watch
I like that. I like watching Adventure. Like I love the story behind Adventure Time.
I
'cause
like
it's like
the episode. I know it's kind of weird, but I really like the episode with Farm World Finn. I'm gonna be honest.
I haven't
Just
seen that
because
one.
I kind of liked the idea
Yeah.
of it taking place in a much more regular world.
yeah. Well, if you watch the episodes that are talking about Simon and Marceline,
Yeah.
like as they were trying to get by in the war, those are actually like you start watching Adventure Time, you're like, oh yeah, this is a cool show, it's kind of silly, and then you get hit with that episode, like one of those episodes, and you're like, oh, the feels,
Yeah.
you know.
Mm.
I just kind of like it because it's like what would
I just
happen to
kind of
Earth.
felt like I really liked it when it was kind of like a fun show about a kid and a dog, you know.
Yeah.
Because that's kind of how I always like pictured adventures and stuff as a kid. But
Well, I mean, they say it up around season 4 or so, but up until then, they never really come right out and say there was a giant war.
there's
But you just notice things, like even in season 1, you'll notice like destroyed cities and tanks and planes crashed and stuff. Like
Yeah.
if you really keeping an eye out for that stuff, you would have realized that it was post-apocalyptic way before they actually brought it out
Yeah.
to your attention.
I thought it was just kind of because the show was strange. They just put stuff like that in the background, but
Yeah.
I don't know.
Right. Well,
It was one of those twists that I don't think it was the best done. I liked the storyline of Simon and Marceline, but other than that, I just kind of felt like I don't feel like the show was ready to pull something like that off. I mean,
yeah.
I just feel like the show is good.
I mean, it's been around for like
Yeah, but I don't know if it has like
for-
the chops to pull that kind of stuff because you gotta be. You have no idea the kind of stuff it takes to really make me believe that kind of stuff in a show that's just kind of a
I can sort of bring up a good comparison. Like when Teen Titans made a really big dramatic turn, I kind of bought that because it was a show
that was way bigger.
Oh, and
than
Teen
Adventure
Titans,
Time
like-
when the world basically went to
like
hell.
have you
Yeah.
seen? You've seen. I'm sure we've all seen the new Teen Titans Go.
Oh my god!
I'm not-
don't even mention.
I'm gonna come right out and say that I like that show
Okay.
as a show on its own,
Okay.
not as Teen Titans. It doesn't do Teen Titans any justice, but I just like it because it's like its own little thing. You
Yeah.
know?
I feel like though it doesn't have enough respect for the original show because if you
It
look
doesn't-
at the
if you-
new
I
if you
creators-
saw-
I really don't like how they're abusing their power to actually use Batman in it now.
yeah.
Like I don't like that they're doing that constantly because in the original show they didn't have the rights to say Batman, so they just put it in subtle. Like,
Yeah.
Like there's one episode where Slade is like, I could be like a father to you. You know, obviously
Yeah.
he's Deathstroke and everything. And then Robin says, I already have a father, and then looks up at the sky and bats fly across. Like that's what made it epic.
Well, in
like
that
you
same
knew he was.
episode when Slade's in the Rob places, you'll notice he's robbing Wayne Enterprises.
Yeah, and there's one episode where they fight on top of the Wayne Enterprises building.
Yeah, that's.
Yeah. I was like,
Is that the same one?
Yeah, I also don't like how Teen Titans Go Terra's basically a straight villain now.
yeah, because that's
I actually really like the whole conflicting nature because
Yeah.
I mean,
Beast Boy.
yeah, like, but in Teen Titans, the thing I really like is toward the end of season, stuff got pretty bleak a lot of the time.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, going back to Teen Titans Go and why I like it, it's because I really honestly wouldn't like it if it was serious and stuff, because I wouldn't be able to take it seriously, and
Especially
it
with
just
that new
100%
animation
would
style.
not do the original justice, and it would just let me down. Like
Yeah.
this is just mocking, but they don't even try to do that at all. They're literally just going for their own humorous thing, and that's why I like it.
I think what really I can sort of see.
I can see where you're coming from, but I still don't do it.
I can see where Luke is coming from in the whole like disrespect of the show, because that interview, which a lot of people like to point out that the creators of Teen Titans Go did, was they flat out said they had never seen the show. Like one guy mentions, I saw one episode, he's like, "It's a good show," and I'm like, you can't really say that if you've only seen like one episode of the show, and even then you can't really make a fair judgment.
And it was one of the shows that I watched, kid, and it blew my mind.
I mean, I don't watch Teen Titans Go faithfully. I'll just flip on the TV, and I don't even really watch that much TV anymore, unless it's on like Netflix or something. But sometimes I'll go and flip on my TV, and if it's on, I'll watch it.
The only reasons I watch Cartoon Network now are for Clarence and Toonami, and even then, it's more of an obligation.
I still watch it for Adventure Time and Regular Show.
Yeah. Oh yeah, and regular show. Sorry.
Because I mean, Regular Show, even
Regular
though
show is one of the funniest cartoons.
Yeah, we've been talking a lot about Adventure Time, but Regular Show is also way up there as well.
It's funny because they're often compared, yet they're not really.
They're not really
same.
similar at
Yeah.
all. Because I mean, Adventure Time honestly tries. I mean, regardless of how much it succeeds, it does at least try to have some kind of a serious story sometimes, but throws in some insanity. Regular Show just hits the ground running and goes totally fucking batshit, and that's what makes it so awesome.
One of the things that I've always loved about Regular Show is they never straight up mention that some of the characters are animals or gumball machines. I love how they can just live in this human world and no one even takes notice to it. Like, oh, it's Benson. He's a gumball machine.
I also really liked like some of those because they say it takes place in the 80s, so they actually get the rights to like a few like really popular 80s songs.
Well, it doesn't take place in the 80s. It takes place I think it takes place probably in either the late 90s to early 2000s, because if you remember the Prank Callers episode, they go back to the 80s, so they couldn't have already been in the 80s.
Yeah. I could sort of believe like the late 90s sort of thing, because they used VHS tapes.
There's not enough Nirvana references.
Yeah, and if you watch enough, you'll notice that
that might have been too obvious though.
You'll notice that in that there's an episode where they have to go back and find like a Laserdisc player. So this must have been right around when DVDs were becoming. Yeah. When VHS was becoming a thing of the past.
I could sort of buy like late 90s to like early 2000s sort of thing.
Yeah. Because I mean, even in the early 2000s, there was still VHS.
Still, it's pretty sweet though how they got like actual like 80s songs in there.
That's I do like how they have that. Like,
it's kind of like if you remember back when Looney Tunes, like the really old ones, they used to have the Merry Melodies stuff.
Yeah.
That's kind of like a modern version of that.
Yeah.
I could sort of see that.
And all right, so now, what about those shows that you were never supposed to watch? Like, you remember like staying up late and waiting for your parents to go to bed so that you could watch Beavis and Butthead, or like Family Guy when it was still good.
Yeah.
Like, I remember sometimes my parents would come in and catch me watching it, and I'd be guilty.
Every time my mom went to sleep before I did, I would so stay up for Robot Chicken.
I love Robot Chicken and Futurama.
I used to get in trouble for watching Adult Swim, and the funny thing was my parents never really knew about it for the longest time, and then they caught me watching it one night. And I don't know if anybody else did this, but I did this thing where like I would like, because after a while I got really paranoid, so I'd turn the TV volume down to like 0, like wait, and then like turn it up to like 20 or something, and then just like put my ear next to the TV.
I remember the first time though, it was a night of uproarious laughing because I found the episode with Jasper the douchebag ghost.
What? From Robot Chicken?
Yeah, and Vince Vaughn bangs your mom.
No,
it's fun.
I remember I always liked shows from Fox. Like, I know Family Guy is on Fox now, but it didn't used to be, did it?
It was, and then it was canceled.
I don't know. I remember I watched a lot more King of the Hill, Simpsons, and Futurama.
I didn't watch a whole lot of The Simpsons as a movie, but
well, when I was a kid, we didn't really have cable, like full on cable. We just had like the basic channels, so we obviously had Fox, and I would watch Simpsons and King of the Hill, and I think they put Futurama on there over time.
Right.
Futurama was really funny.
I like Futurama.
I honestly think like I don't think I've ever actually come out on a video and said this before about like because you remember like it was a big deal for me like in I think I can't remember when it was like 2000 like maybe 12 I think and they brought back Toonami. That was a big deal for me.
Toonami, I usually watch. The first time I watched Toonami was remember when they had the animated Hellboy movies?
Yeah.
When Blood and Iron was on, I watched like, wow, this is pretty cool. But I had no real prior experience to it. I remember one of the biggest mistakes of my life. I don't know if this show's beloved or not, but I watched. I don't even want to say the title.
Say it.
Something like that.
I know what you're talking about.
What are you talking
It
about?
was a really. I don't know if this show has a fan base.
I really don't think so.
Everything I seem to hate has a fan base. So. Or when the Battle for Terran came out, I found out that like on IMDb there was tons of people saying this movie's really good. I was like,
oh fuck off.
No.
That movie sucks.
But I don't even know the full name. I just remember the main character was Mr. Bobo. He looked like white Mr. T.
I think I know what you're talking about.
I hated that.
What do you remember the name of the show?
I think it was like
Bobo. I feel like an idiot
I don't
saying
even
that.
know.
Everyone feels like an idiot when you
I
say
think
that.
I know what you're talking about.
I think the creator just made that to make people feel like an idiot.
Yeah, honestly.
Yeah.
'Cause
I didn't watch a whole lot of Toonami. I used to actually watch Jetix.
Jetix,
Oh.
yeah, I watched
I
that.
didn't really watch. I know you know Jetix was a Disney.
Yeah,
thing,
I didn't
right?
watch a whole lot of
I
Disney,
didn't
but
watch
I
a whole lot of
Jetix.
Disney, but I did watch Jetix for the Spider-Man show that was
I
on.
watched Spider-Man, I watched Superman shows, and there was one show that used to air. I think it was an anime. It might not have been. It was this like racing show, which sounds really
was
stupid
it
at first.
Speed Racer?
No, it was almost like the pod race from Star Wars, but like
Yeah,
full on intergalactic.
yeah.
Oh, okay.
And the prize I think was like a wish or something.
Oh, yeah, I think
And
I
there
know
was
what you're talking
one.
about.
I don't know if he was the main character or not, but one character was like parents were killed.
Yeah.
That was a good show.
Yeah.
I don't even remember.
I can't even remember the title, but I used to really like it.
I think I know what you're talking
I
about.
remember.
I used to like that one show. I know I probably would hate it if I watched it again, but I used to like Get Ed.
Speaking of Ed,
Oh.
Ed, and Eddie.
That was
Good
like my childhood.
Yeah,
I watched
Ed,
it
and Eddie.
so many
I love
times.
I
that
did not
show.
get into it until last year.
Are you
Really?
serious?
I was not
I
allowed
watched
to
that
watch
show.
it.
How the hell did you go through your entire childhood and not see Ed, Ed,
Are
and
you
Eddie?
serious?
I saw one episode.
I love
How
Ed,
does that
and
happen?
Eddie.
I thought that was theoretically impossible growing up. When
I
you
just
did.
love the theme
I've
song.
only
Like
seen like one.
like you hear the theme song, and it's Ed, and Eddie. How
Yeah, I
unmistakable.
mean-
Oddly enough, I was the weirdest thing. I was watching Planet Hulk, and I was like, "Wow, I want to watch it." I don't even know why. I was watching Planet Hulk. I was like, oh, "That kind of sounds like Double D. I want to watch it."
Double D.
the hype that surrounded like the finale of Ed, Ed, and Eddie, because it still is. I think to this
Take This
day.
and Shove It was a super sad episode.
I don't even
Yeah.
remember a lot of the Ed, and Eddie.
Because to be quite honest, like I remember, like I think,
There was like three finales. There was the Big Picture Show.
yeah,
There
there
was
was
Take This Ed and Shove It, and then there was the third one.
yeah
They
did,
had a Halloween special.
yeah they
didn't
did. They had a Halloween special, a Christmas special.
I like that one where like he peeks his presents.
Yeah,
Oh
yeah.
yeah, I love that
Jackie.
one.
Yeah.
I just want a good Christmas.
Yeah,
I remember
like
the hype that surrounded like Big Picture Show because I don't know if it's still Cartoon
I
Network's
still
longest
haven't
running.
seen that.
I don't even like. I remember like watching it all the time, but come to think of it, I don't remember a whole lot of the episodes. Like I remember the one where
I remember Plank.
I remember
think that was
yeah,
hilarious.
I remember the episode
Muppets,
where
right?
they dress stupid Ed as a monster and he's like
Yes,
sticking people
yeah.
to the wall with the cereal.
Yeah, I remember that.
I
Yeah,
remember that one. I remember how they always wanted Jawbreakers.
yeah. It was like they're like,
Isn't there one where he saw the Canker Sisters naked or something?
Oh, yeah.
I can't remember.
Yeah,
If-
I
I don't know
actually-
if they saw him naked, but I remember all the ones with the Canker Sisters.
Yeah.
I think honestly it's kind of funny because like it's one of those things where like
Watching it now, I figure that's exactly how I pictured girls when I was a very little kid.
I remember when I was little, I used to get on CartoonNetwork.com and play this Ed, Ed and Eddie wrestling game.
yes I did that
Did you
too.
ever-
And
yeah.
I sucked at it.
I was good at it. I beat the game.
The only game I really played, like Flash cartoon game, I played the Danny Phantom game. But that's about it.
Oh
I always played as Double
Um,
D when I was playing that wrestling game.
yeah. Yeah.
It
There was a,
seems like he kind of sucks.
I just remember you have to fight the Canker Sisters in that. It's
Yeah.
like it's like Double D versus the Canker Sisters or something.
it's like one of those things where like Because the funniest thing was before I discovered YouTube, like years before I discovered YouTube, I was always playing on like CartoonNetwork.com Flash games
Yeah.
because they were fun, you know.
Yeah.
And I played those for like hours on end. You know, I actually remember. I don't know if anybody else remembers this show, but Megas XLR
No, I don't remember
was
that.
awesome.
I remember.
I remember. Was that the one with the fat guy that had the big robot?
Yeah,
I remember like a couple episodes of that, but I didn't think it was all that great.
I remember I used to get on CartoonNetwork.com and play this Codename Kids Next Door game where you like customize your
I
own
used
kid.
to love that
Oh, I
show.
love that show
Yeah.
too.
But there were a couple episodes. This might be embarrassing, but a couple episodes actually scared the crap out of me.
I really like the special where you find out that number one's dad was number 0. If you remember that.
yeah, that was like the finale, wasn't it? Actually,
I think it was.
I think so. I liked
Yeah.
any episode that centered around father. I thought he was hilarious.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because you find out the
Angry,
father
you know?
was actually number one's dad's brother.
Yeah.
I mean, I love that.
the finale. Like it's funny
I like
because
the episode where the father was in the grocery store.
yeah,
Got some coupons, you know.
Coupons.
it seems like because now that I'm thinking about it, a lot of big Cartoon Network shows that were big when we were like kids had really good finales.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Kids Next Door, Ed, Edd n Eddy, you know, stuff
The
like
only
that.
one, arguable my favorite, actually didn't get a finale, and that was Samurai Jack.
Well,
Samurai Jack did not have a good finale. Like
I
that.
remember
have
in
now.
K and
Yeah,
D there were a
there's
lot.
nothing.
There were a lot of episodes that you could just really connect with. Like I remember there was this one where
There was
number
one about
5.
eating your vegetables.
Yeah, there's one about that, but there was another one where number 5 had to go and find like the secret 4th flavor of ice cream.
Yeah.
Do you remember that
Yeah.
one? I love that
I
one.
like the one with the cheese store, and there's all those ninjas at the bottom.
Yeah.
Or something.
Yeah. I like the one where it was like I don't know if anyone remembers it, but there's the one where like it was like the Wild West and they were digging for
Oh,
gold.
yeah,
they were
yeah.
digging for
The chicken nuggets.
Yeah.
Yeah. I remember.
They treated the bus like a train.
Yeah.
I remember the one where it was like Count Spankula. Do you remember that
Yeah.
guy?
Yeah.
I don't know, because my parents whipped me when I was a kid. Like, I mean,
I was whipped a couple times with a ping pong paddle.
Yeah.
Oh.
They cut off the ball part.
yeah. Well, I just
That's twice
remember
my
like
life.
I would watch that episode and it always just like those episodes with him in it, and it takes me back to when I was a kid, you know.
Yeah. And Clarence sort of does that now, but
Yeah.
not as much as like it could. But I still really like Clarence.
I like
regardless.
Clarence. I love
Like
Clarence.
anyone who sees my Facebook page knows that I put it under recent
Like
likes.
that. What was that? The episode where they go to the restaurant and they go
Yeah.
play on the thing. Like I always used to go to McDonald's and Burger King and play on those things.
I thought
so.
it was pretty funny when it goes, "Here's what you got to do: you take off."
Oh,
your
you
shoes
gotta
and
put on a fresh
grab
pair.
grab a fresh pair. and put
He
on
like
his
takes
feet.
his shoes off. You gotta put your shoes in the cubby, and then he's like, and
grab
then
a
grab a
fresh
fresh pair. And he grabs this pair of like light up princess shoes.
And then the very ending when it's like walking away and it's like playing like that 70s like swag music.
Yeah, and that little girl's like, "Where's my light up princess
Yeah.
shoes?"
Yeah.
Speaking of like playgrounds, one time when I was a kid, I actually got lost in the Chuck E. Cheese one.
Are you serious?
Yeah.
I've only been to Chuck E. Cheese once my whole
Same
life.
here, dude. Same here. Like in
I-
preschool.
But I mean, even if have you ever been on the playground? Because it's fairly self-explanatory.
No, I
the
haven't.
slides were like right next to the entrance,
Yeah.
and I could not find it.
Wow.
I kept going around and going to that glass part and like crying, looking at it. My
Like you
mom.
couldn't find your way out.
No. I kept going in a circle.
I
And
like-
eventually they had to get the lady that made the pizzas to go up there and
Yeah.
get me.
I love the little plastic ball that hangs out because you can go in there and if you like rub your clothes on it, it'd get all staticky, and if
Yeah.
other kids would come by, you just
I
like
was always
touch them.
afraid that thing was going to collapse.
I would
'Cause
al-
it didn't look
I
very
would
sturdy
always-
if you go in there.
Because whenever I would go, I would usually go with my sister. So I'd usually get in the ball thing, and then I'd go
Yeah.
and find her and like shock the shit out of her.
Actually, I was in preschool when I went
Kids
to Chuck E.
used to
Cheese.
push me down the slide that had the steps in it.
Yeah.
Ouch.
Yeah, it hurt a lot.
Actually, I can't remember a lot about that, but I can remember a few things. I remember the pizza was disgusting, but since we were in preschool,
Dude,
we
it
didn't
tasted
care.
like fish.
Dude, I remember.
Horrible.
I remember those playthings. You're always trying to get on the top where you're not supposed to be able to go. Do you
Yeah,
remember?
they
do
did
you
that
remember
in
that?
Clarence, actually.
Yeah.
They got on top of the
Yeah,
things.
where they usually have a fence there, and I'd always try to climb it, but usually either my
If
parents
I
or
ever
an employee.
managed to get up there, because I always sucked at climbing, I'd probably fall down like bricks someday.
I've always been fairly good at climbing.
I was kind of one of those pussy kids that sat in the corner. But
Yeah. Well, I mean, anyone who's ever been to Chuck E. Cheese knows they will gyp you on the fucking like what tickets can buy stuff.
Dude,
you know?
I hate that. Like it costs
You
like
get
3,000
like
tickets
3
just.
million to get a fucking teddy bear.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it-
exactly.
No,
I'm
it
just
costs
like-
like 5,000 tickets just to get one of those Chinese finger trap things.
and it's fucking ridiculous. So I'm like,
'Cause
you
they're
know,
actually
only,
pretty easy to get
Yeah,
out
like
those
at
guys.
Mr. Gaddy's, it costs like 30 tickets to get one of those.
yeah, exactly. I'm like, cause I remember like, you gotta like really get like a couple thousand to get like the big shit like Nerf swords or whatever.
Yeah,
But at
yeah,
Chuck E.
yeah.
Cheese, you gotta get that much money to get like a small ass thing.
Yeah, like a keychain or something
And
of
I'm
like
like,
a
this is
frog.
The only
Bullshit.
thing good about Chuck E. Cheese was I like that Let's Go Jungle fucking arcade shooter game.
Yeah,
I
yeah,
like
yeah,
That.
that
You
one.
can get that at like Gaddy Town or something.
Yeah, yeah. Fucking. 'Cause I remember, because the only thing I remember someone got like a paper airplane and I tried to play with it and they went no, because it was in preschool because they hoarded that
No.
shit like gold. It was
One time in
ridiculous.
preschool. You remember Jake? Uncle Jay?
Yeah, I do actually.
You know we had those like foam airplanes.
Yes.
I was reenacting the beginning of Jurassic Park 3, and he took it out of my hand and beat my head with the plane.
I
had to
because
be sitting there.
because I remember in preschool they had these big ass like really awesome dinosaur toys like
Yeah.
like this big, so we could have actually replicated the opening with
Yeah,
those toys in the
Well,
plane.
and I did.
Was there any other cartoons that you guys wanted to talk about, or is this about it?
That's about it.
All right.
Pretty much, yeah. Honestly, I mean, we've pretty much run the gambit of
So,
Yeah.
maybe
well,
not completely of like our childhoods, but of cartoons probably.
Right.
Is this it?
Yeah.
I'd say it's it.
Thanks for watching, guys.
See you guys later.
One signing out.
Utter
Mr.
chaos.
Bomber.
Bitches.
Mr. Bomber out.
This is the utter chaos. I'm signing out.
You already said your catchphrase.
Fucker.
Hey, what's up, YouTube? What the fuck?
God.